Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the garage. Since it's very chilly outside, and you might be able to guess from these goggles, is going to be something to do with skiing. One awesome thing that I'm super excited about in being in Alaska is I get to downhill ski again. Last year, I got myself a backcountry ski setup, which is great. It's the first new ski setup, like skis, binding boots, that I've gotten since I was in high school. One thing that I've wanted to teach myself how to do is to maintain my own skis. The new backcountry setup I got is great. It was not cheap, so I want to understand how to take care of those skis without necessarily having to take them anywhere to get them serviced. What today's project is going to be is actually to restore my old skis that I have had since high school. And those skis are these back here. There's these K2 USA themed skis. But yeah, these are old. These have a lot of years of skiing on them. Depending on the conditions at Alyeska, I think these skis will have their place. And so I'm definitely going to keep them. And I'm definitely going to use them if conditions are right. But I had them with me in North Carolina just in case I ever got out to some of the small hills there. And they sat in our basement, and the edges definitely got rusty, and I don't know the last time they were waxed, but I can feel them. It's not great. So in teaching myself to learn how to restore the edges and wax skis, I figured of the two that I have, I'm going to practice on the old set, hopefully learning enough that I can take care of the new set. So that's the project for today. I'll get my skis set up here. I'm using my trusty recycling bins as a workbench. There are ski clamps that you can get that'll hold these skis nicer if you have a workbench, and you can hold the ski on end like this if you want to work the edges. I'm not going to get that fancy. I think I'm just going to try and knock the rust off these edges and put some wax on these and see if I can get them cleaned up. I hope this is a somewhat informative and interesting video for you guys. It's certainly in the spirit of our channel and teaching ourselves new things. I've done a little bit of research on how to do this. I went to the local ski shop and got myself some wax and an iron, which I'll show you guys. And we're just gonna try and do our best. So here we go. Okay, so let's get started. First things first, when working on skis, always have your goggles on so you get in the spirit of the season, and have some tea just to keep yourself warm. Especially if you're out in a relatively cold garage like I am. So I got a brush. This is a Swix brand brush. This is a white nylon, and it's sort of an all-around brush. They have different brushes with the bristles a different stiffness. Some of them are really to scrub all the old wax and stuff out of the skis, and then you can have a series of brushes to, after you've applied the new wax and scraped it off, to kind of buff the bottom of the ski. This is just a single all-around brush. I don't ski that much anymore. I'm happy just to be out there. I am likely not going to be able to tell the difference between a super finely polished brushed ski and one that's just done with an all-arounder. So for now, I'm just going with the all-arounder. So that's one thing that you'll need if you want to ever do this. The next item is some ski wax. There's a block of ski wax, nothing fancy, just wax with dog hair on it. The next thing is I got a Swix scraper, just a plastic scraper, which I'll need to get the excess wax off. And I got myself a Swix waxing iron. So I'm gonna unbox this stuff or get it unpackaged and get this guy plugged in and warming up. And yeah, we'll get started. So another semi-wild pro tip: when you go to plug in your new iron, make sure you have not used every last extension cord stringing up all your Christmas lights outside. Okay, everyone, I've got my stuff unboxed. I've got my iron plugged in, and that's heating up. I have it set to 120 right now, and we'll see how that goes. So the other thing I need to do right now is get these stoppers for the windings out of the way, and apparently you just get a couple rubber bands, hold those guys up. It should, maybe if you have a stronger rubber band, keep those from okay, great. So that worked. Hopefully it won't snap off in my face. Famous last words. Okay, great. Always take your tea break. It's a licorice spice with a little bit of honey. If anyone is wondering, I know no one is, but now you know. So I'm just gonna get any debris off of these. Now I'm going to start with the edges. I want to get all this rust knocked off. I have some steel wool, and hopefully that'll get the job done. I have 2 courses. I have a number 3 and a 0. We're going to start with the 3 and see how well it works at all. Okay, so that was awful. I knew the edges had gotten really rusty. I did not know it was that bad. They're really pitted. And you know, I think they're only going to come back to a certain level. They're never going to be like new again. So I'm going to wipe them down and maybe hit them again with the steel wool. I did notice that the steel wool is getting really torn up, so I think there's like some rough edges. So I think I'm also going to get my file and just gently file along those edges to just kind of clean them up and sharpen them up a little bit. Yeah, they definitely needed a lot of work. Between the rust and just, you know, a couple of decades of use, the edges were really, especially in some places, were really messed up. I think it's better than it was. If any of you guys who are watching know more about this than I do, I'm open, please, to hearing better methods. There are a couple of tools. I'm gonna get the names wrong, but I'll post the link down in the description, but there's like a really fine file that you can get, and I will finish cleaning up the edges then. You should do all that like before you bother to wax, but I'm perfectly happy to practice waxing once, and then when I get these tools, clean up the edges again and practice waxing again. That is, after all, what I'm teaching myself. So wipe them down one more time, try and get them clean and free of oil or anything from me touching them, and then we'll actually be ready to wax. Okay, looks like all of that rubbing alcohol has just about evaporated. So the idea is to make sure the iron is at a hot enough temperature that you just touch the wax and it drips and runs off, and you just kind of trail it along the ski, and then you just do a series of passes from the tip to the tail, and just making sure there's enough wax that it just bleeds out and coats the entire ski. I don't think there's any reason to be shy with it, and the idea is that you're gonna fill in all the little nooks and grooves and everything that will catch and slow you down or cause suction on the surface or anything. So the majority of wax I'm going to put on and I'm going to scrape off. But what's left over is going to fill in all those gaps and give you a nice smooth and fast ski going down. So I will get my wax, which is here, and we will see if this is actually warm enough. Let's see how we do here. See if this is warm enough to melt. Probably be good if I don't have dog hair all over this. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's melting. And dripping, cool. So I'm gonna bring this up to the front here. Okay, so I got the wax applied. It's on there, I think nice and thick. It is now time to let these sit. So I am going to wait 30 minutes and let this wax really cool down. So it's time for some fresh tea. Okay, everyone, it's been about 30 minutes and wax is definitely cool. In fact, these skis are a little cold out here in the garage. So got myself some fresh tea, scraped the wax off these skis, and see how I did. They were looking pretty rough, so I'm sure they will be better, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I think those are pretty well scraped. I think the idea is you're supposed to run that scraper across them from toe to end until you're pretty much not taking any more wax off. That way you know you've filled in all the low spots and don't have any excess wax. I think the next step is to drink some tea. Okay, and with that done, I believe it is time to brush. So we brush. Everyone, I think that's it. I think this is a pretty good improvement over what I had before. So we're hoping to get out this year to Alyeska and also take my set out to backcountry ski. I'm excited to get Caitlin out downhill skiing. I think she'll have a lot of fun with that. So please stay tuned for those videos when they come out. I hope you learned something. I know I did. And as always, please like, comment, subscribe. So yeah, that's it. Just one last thing. last sip of tea before I clean up here and head out to have a drink with some friends. So cheers, guys. Have a good night and stay safe, and get out there on your skis if you can get out there on your skis. And if you've never skied before, think about it. It's pretty fun.